How's it going, Digimon fans? It's your boy Ghostli Games here, and I'm back with another deck profile for y'all today. So today we cooked up some pretty al dente Royal Knights, and surprisingly enough, I didn't get last place with it. Though this list is definitely more of a modified, close to final version of what I want Royal Knights to be for myself. Though we do play an interesting tech combination thanks to my buddy Angel, who actually told me about it. And let's jump right into the list. So, first for our eggs, we only play 4, and that is, of course, the main egg for the Knights, their king, Yggdrasil 76. You can't Digivolve while he's present, unfortunately, but you can gain back memory whenever you play Royal Knights of the Purge, and he's the main way to reduce cost. So it's very important you stick to him. And yeah, that's really about it. Next, our Digimon. First, our non-Royal Knights. We've got 2 copies of the Greatest Nun, Sistermon Shiel, on play for a cost of 4, looking at top 3 cards of your deck, adding a Royal Knight, and then trashing the rest. And then all turns, if you have a Huckmon or Royal Knight, they all gain Reboot. You mainly want to combo that with Leopardmon, so you have a bunch of swinging bodies, but they also Reboot to block. And next, our Honorary Royal Knight, Omegamon. He is quite literally the freest +1, no matter what. On play, drawing one, and on delete, tucking a Royal Knight from hand under Yggdrasil is really good. And that's about it for all of our non-Royal Knights. Next, for the Knights themselves. First, our everyone's favorite golden boy, Magnamon. Being the cheapest Royal Knight, it's really good, especially since he comes out again for cheaper. And he's a blocker, and he's a free +1 whenever he leaves the board. Just that free draw 1 is perfect. And now for our one-ofs. First, we play 1 copy of BT12 Gallantmon, so we mainly use it for its raid and when attacking skill. Its when attacking skill is it tries to pop a Digimon, but if it can't, it trashes the top card of the opponent's security. But we kind of prefer to use his BT13 counterpart a lot more, since it's on play and when attacking, it still trigger. So it first tries to pop a 6k or less. If it doesn't, then it'll pop a 13k or more. So you either get rid of a floodgate or you get rid of a big body. So it's just really perfect when it happens. And that's it for our one-ofs. Now for our 2s. First, Jessamon. So on play, being able to pop initially up to 6k is very nice, but for every Digimon you have other than him on board, it's very nice to add to that level cap, or that DP cap by 2k. Next, his master, Gunkomon. Being a blocker is nice, but we like his on play more. Being able to play another Royal Knight from under Yggdrasil is really good, and it doesn't have a restriction, so if that Digimon has an on play, that triggers too. Following that up, we've got Kentaurusmon. Now I will say, this can honestly be a one-of. He's okay at best. His when attacking comes up a lot more than his on play skill, but even then it's like, you can choose to play him at 1 if you want, to be honest. Following that up is a potential 1-up, but we currently are playing him at 2 for Examon, because he's blue. But his on play, just getting rid of Digivolution sources, it's nice. You can choose to play Sorai if you want, which then would make this a whole lot better. But other than that, we just use him for Examon fodder and for another name. Now, someone else that we use a lot more is Alphamon. So the stun effect, ooh, spicy. 10 or play cost of 10 or more, can't attack me, very nice. But also having its own protection as long as you send back a Royal Knight or X anybody to the bottom of your deck if you were to leave the board, very picante indeed. And it's just really good, especially for that surprise stun. Following that up, we've got the greatest recycler of the deck, Lord Nightmon. Being able to on play add back from trash is really good, but also being able to steal memory whenever the opponent attacks for every Royal Knight you have on your board is very funny. I actually pulled it off against Belfamon. And then finally, Craniumon. There's nothing special about him except he's a blocker that can force an opponent's Digimon to attack at the end of their turn. Outside of that, he's definitely a one-off in my personal opinion. Next are only three of. We've got the main tactician himself, Leopardmon. So he helps reduce play cost, and he gives everything blocker. You combo that with CL, and you've got a very nasty board indeed. And it's just really funny to pull it off. And then finally, for the only 4 of out of the level 6s, the main Royal Knight Searcher, Dynasmon. On play, looking at top 4, adding 2 cards with Royal Knights in their traits, and during your turn, whenever you play another Digimon, being able to pop level 4s and lowers. Very nice. And that's gonna be it for our level 6s. Now moving on to the more interesting side, you could say. First, 2 copies of Examon from EX3. So his Win Jogress effect can come up, but it only comes up after you go into the Omnimon play. His alternate effect is what you really want to use it for. Speaking about Omnimon, we gotta get ready for him. Here he is. So you want to use him as your finisher, but it doesn't hurt to use him early on. Now the only reason we currently have 3 is because I'm dumb and I chose to play him at 3 at the tournament. Surprisingly enough, I opened him 3 matches in a row. Round 2 through 4, he was in the opening hand. It was so funny. And that's going to be it for all of our Digimon. So now for the option cards, we actually played this option card since we didn't have the 4th Omnimon, and it's going to be a surprising pick. It's Congo. Now, you can choose if you want to focus more on O-Force, is to replace this with Solrai to also prevent them from attacking. But other than that, I honestly prefer Congo more. Next, for our 2 of, we play Crimson Blaze. It's mainly more as a counter to Belfamon, since it locks them from being able to play Digimon by effect. But also, it just reduces its own play cost for every card every Digimon they have in control. And then right after that, we've got possibly one of the best yellow option cards, and that's 2 copies of Odin's Breath. So what makes it good is that it also triggers when it's trashed from security, so Billsmon doesn't even get a say about it. And it reduces cost or DP by 3k, and if there's 6 or less combined security attack -1 on the entire opponent's board. It's funny. And then finally, Royal Knights of the Purge. What can I say? It's the main option card for the deck. Like, you can't really say anything else about it. It's just that good. So it doesn't even hurt if it's only in security, because you still get its main delay. And yeah, that's really about it for our option cards. And then finally, for our only tamer, Marcus Damon. He punches stuff. He's a memory setter. He really hates those floodgates, and so do Royal Knights. So that's a perfect combination right there. On play, suspending himself, and when he's suspended, -3k on one boy. Very nice. Alrighty, and now we're going to talk about some tech cards you can choose to play for the deck. So first, we're going to talk about Starter Deck 12, Sistermon Blanc. Now, she can be used because she's a 3 cost on play trash 1 draw 2, and she gives decoy whenever you have a Royal Knight or Huckmon on play. But the downside is it's only for red black, so she doesn't even fully protect all your Royal Knights, only black and red, and that's its one downside. So you can choose to play her. I am choosing not to because of how little she protects compared to her older printing. Next, we're going to talk about BT13 Porcupamon. So it's a 4 cost purple on play / on delete skill to delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. You would only really use it against floodgates or early combo starters, to be perfectly honest with you. Next, we're going to talk about the GX combo. So you'd use it for its one Digivolving skill to tuck one under him and then give it Blitz. But other than that, and its all-turn skill, you really have to focus on it, and it messes with the ratios if you do. So next, we're going to talk about BT6 Sistermon Blanc. So I actually got her effect wrong. She gives all Sistermons blocker instead of all Royal Knights. But I guess they're both kind of equally mid, in my personal opinion. And then finally, we're going to talk about BT6 Alphamon. You'd mainly use it for its security effect to essentially stun. And it does have a funny when attacking and end of attack skill. But that's mainly if you want to go mainly crackhead hours with the deck. But I highly recommend against it. And yeah, that's really going to be it for the video. So I ended up not doing too hot with Royal Knights at Store Championships. I ended up going 14th out of 19 players, going 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses, and I actually do have a finalized version of the deck that I want to work towards. But other than that, like, the deck is really up to personal preference for the most part. There's just certain cards you have to play at specific ratios if you want to properly play the deck. But other than that, I had a heck of a blast playing this deck. And as much as I want to try out other decks like Kentaro's Hybrid or focusing on like Gallantmon, I honestly see myself actually staying with the deck for a while until it eventually gets hit, and that's if it does get hit. But other than that, that's really gonna be it for today. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for how long this video took. It's just I don't have the best equipment right now. I do plan on getting better equipment so more videos can come out faster. But yeah. Other than that, thank you all so much for sticking around, and I will catch you guys on the next one.